In this video, I'm going to be going over Wes Watson's $2 million per month funnel that is so simple that, I think a third grader could run it. It really is that simple, really effective, straight to the point. So without further ado, let's get straight into it, right? So Wes Watson really follows this three-step methodology structure, right? So number one is going to be traffic, right? Number two is going to be generating interest. And number three is going to be converting that interest ultimately, right? Simple enough. Good to go, right? Now, first things first, as we said, is traffic, right? And in this case, Wes primarily focuses all of his attention on Instagram. And if you guys aren't familiar, in my opinion, that be some people might argue YouTube is a higher leverage platform. It's just longer content. People build more trust that way. But the easiest way to sell info products, coaching, courses, whatever, is Instagram still, especially if you already have a massive personal brand like Wes Watson does. So I don't blame him for focusing all his attention on Instagram, right? And so as you can see here, he has about, close to 1 million followers. In your situation, let's say you're a coach or consultant or influencer watching this video right now, you don't need 1 million followers. But in this case, he has 1 million followers. Good for him, right? Now, as you can notice right here, he has, he posts a bunch of reels. Good for him, right? And most of these reels are just raw, authentic content that talks about life, business, and fitness, which he ultimately sells his info products on. So he's making content about things he's selling information on. It makes sense, right? Because a lot of influencers, coaches make the mistake of trying to talk about things that aren't relating to what they're trying to sell, which doesn't make any sense. You want to provide value around the subjects about the things you ultimately sell in the back end. Pretty simple stuff, right? Now. Step two in this process is going to be generating that interest. And so there's one way he does it, and there's two variations he goes about doing it. Now, my man Wes, if you follow Wes Watson in any way, or you're familiar with him in any way, this man posts stories of the galore, right? He posts, I lose count, 20, 30, 40 stories a day. This guy spams stories, right? And so there's two versions of stories that he posts to ultimately generate interest for what he has to sell, right? And so version one is going to be this right here. So I call this story sequence V1. Now, what he does is he answers this format is he answers questions from his fans or people that are interested in what he has to ultimately sell. And this is a very soft way of providing value in some sort of way. And then a lot of times he sets that up with if you want my help on this, DM me a keyword, which then ultimately sells them on his coaching, right? And here are good examples. Ask me a question. Is there such thing be focused on yourself or you're losing track of others? At what age did everything change for you, mindset-wise, right? So this is very, very good way. The Q&A story sequence V1. I say story sequence V1. Question and answer, whatever, right? So you get the deal. Now. Story sequence V2 is where he ultimately shows a result of him working with somebody, right? And displaying that dream outcome, right? And here's a good example. Here are good examples of this guy went from that to that. 5 months. Let's go. So you see results, right? So showcase the results, and then he says, hey, if you want to achieve those same results as these fine gentlemen did here too, then DM me this specific keyword and I can help you out, right? Genius. Very, very genius. And so these are the two variations of ways he ultimately generates interest for what he has to sell. Now, the last step in this process is the conversion, which is ultimately how he sells you into his coaching, right? And so, unlike most gurus who just set you on a call to then sell you, this guy, he just says, screw it. I'm just gonna tell you what I have to offer over the DMs, and that's that. If you don't want to buy it, then screw off. That's essentially what he does, right? And so here are good examples of certain DMs or like someone going through his funnel, right? So where he says, hey, here's what I have to offer you: elite mindset coaching, deliverables, price, right? And then it's here's the second plan. It's like mindset, training, nutrition, da 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 da. Here's the price, right? Recurring revenue, cool. And then here's another example. I think this was the personal branding offer, if I'm not mistaken, where it's like, all right, this is what you're gonna do. Here's the deliverables, boom. Here's the blueprint, boom, boom, right? And so, yeah, like it's kind of crazy that this guy just says screw, ultimately screw it, right? Because obviously, naturally, it's easier to sell someone on a service over a call. It just is than DMs, because DMs, they don't have really any rapport built. I mean, they obviously know you, but there's not really trust, rapport, that kind of thing built up already. And so ultimately, what he does is just screw it. I'm going to sell you over the DMs. If you don't want it, you don't want it. Because ultimately with Wes Watson, and a lot of influencers, coaches, consultants don't have this luxury. He gets so much traffic that like ultimately it would be tough to have like a sales team, right? And so he just does it straight over the DMs. And that's that. And also another benefit to doing this is that he does have higher margins, because he doesn't have to employ closers, right? Which ultimately closers take 10% of your business. So there's that. Now, if you found this video valuable in any sort of way, drop a sub, share it with friends, screw it, why not? And ultimately just go through all my past content if you haven't already, because I guarantee it will 100% help, right? And then also, shameless plug, if you want help printing money for your own info product, that'd be coaching, course, etc., whatever you got, just click the link in the description, and yeah, we can square it away from there. But anyhow, till next time, I'm out. Peace.